Now, the total cumulative COVID-specific assistance to the arts sector we've provided with today's announcement now reaches $475 million. Today we're announcing $35 million. That's $20 million that goes to Support Act, the well-respected music charity. And in fact, with this $20 million, they're going to expand beyond the music sector to other arts workers. We've already provided them with $20 million at various stages over the last 12 months, and this adds a further $20 million because they're doing such great work on the front line, helping arts workers who have an immediate need of assistance. There's also $15 million for our sustainability fund. We originally committed $35 million to the sustainability fund. This takes it up to $50 million. This is money for systemically significant arts organisations and companies, ones where it's so important that they survive through the pandemic because of their importance to the whole arts ecosystem. Just a couple of weeks ago, we committed $4 million out of this fund for Opera Australia, which is our largest performing arts company and by any definition systemically significant, but also Queensland Ballet, NIDA and many other organisations. With this additional funding, that now means that we've got significant resources there to deal with the applications which I expect we will be receiving from arts companies which are dealing with how they get through the next few months.
So the total creative economy COVID support package sits at $475 million. How much of that has been allocated?
A significant proportion of it.
Can you tell me exactly how much?
The centrepiece of it is our RISE fund. That was originally $75 million. We topped it up with $125 at the budget. That's now $200 million. Of that, $140 million has been allocated. The most recent funding round, $40 million. Just a couple of weeks ago we announced, including, for example, the Falls Festival, Adelaide Fringe Festival, and indeed Byron Bay Blues Fest. We've committed $2.4 million. That's the single biggest commitment. Of course, Blues Fest shut down earlier this year, very difficult circumstances, and this funding is about helping them get back on their feet and come back, re-establishing this very important event. We've also, as part of our funding, there's $50 million in the Temporary Interruption Fund for screen production. Now, that is all deployed, and so far 56 productions have been able to go ahead with the benefit of that. As I've mentioned, the $20 million to date that we've provided to Support Act has just about all been expended now, which is one reason why we're coming back with another $20 million. We've got a significant loans component to our funding package. There was some scepticism when we announced it, including from ABC journalists saying, well, will people actually take up loans? In fact, over $20 million of loans have now been committed. And so across...
Yeah, OK. I don't know about the scepticism from what ABC journalists, but I do want to know, though, that you talked about systemically significant. So what part of the industry isn't systemically significant, and will they hit the wall?
The notion of systemically significant goes to companies which are large, major employers, have particular skills and capabilities which are important across the whole arts sector, that, for example, provide training, and many people who get training in such a company then go and work elsewhere in the sector. And again, if you look at the sorts of institutions and organisations that we've funded to date, it's included Opera Australia, Queensland Ballet, NIDA. So all of those clearly fit the definition of systemically significant. I make the point, we've got a whole range of funding, and one of the components is what was originally $35 million, now $50 million, for sustainability for systemically signicant arts companies.
So what happens to those that are not deemed, they're not big enough, they're not institutionally significant enough? You know, I'm going to be blunt, they're not the high arts. They're emerging arts often. You know, what happens to them? Do you expect that some of them will hit the wall because we've got our two biggest states, the biggest contributors to the arts in the country, Sydney and Melbourne, in lockdowns?
It's interesting you make the point about high arts, because we've been very conscious of that. It's important that our funding go to popular art and entertainment, and that's why, under the RISE Fund, we've provided money to Hamilton, for example, and indeed to tours, upcoming tours by commercial music promoters of Guns N' Roses. We have quite consciously taken a broader approach with our $200 million Rise Fund to pick up exactly the point you make. It's not just about classical music and high art. That's important, of course, but the arts, entertainment, important to all Australians, important culturally, also so important in terms of lifting our spirits as we come through a difficult time. No better way to lift your spirits than seeing great Australian performers on stage. So we have very consciously sought to spread the money more widely than traditional arts funding.
All right, so
I think you make a good point, Patricia.
Yeah.